Woke up this morning, coffee in hand, flipped on the screen, my favorite man. Crafty's on the TV, chipping that stone with obsidian and flint, he's in the zone. He's shaping the future with a hit and a crack, building the legends, ain't no turning back. With every sharp edge, he's teaching the way of the ancients who thrived back in the day. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. Underneath those layers of dust and grit finds the magic every little bit. A sculptor of stories buried in the ground, each piece he uncovers wisdom abound. With every collision, the sparks start to fly. As the old world awakens, we question why. He's digging deeper where the shadows play, reviving old crafts that could fade away. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. And in this life, we're all just searching for our place in the world, a way to keep working. With the flick of his wrist, he brings forth the light. In every gray morning, he makes it feel right. So gather around, let the stories unfold. Crafty's our guide through the young and the old. With the sun rising high and the day moving on, Crafty carves dreams till the light is all gone. He's shaping the future one chip at a time. With every creation, he's keeping the rhyme. From the heartland of Texas to the mountains of green, the legacy lives on through the stonework unseen. With every perspective, he's showing the way. Crafty keeps going, come whatever may. Crafty on the TV, talking that smack, stone carving dreams, never looking back. From Texas to Vermont, Crafty studies us, chiseling the past, building futures for us. Wielding the hammer, he's steady and strong, crafting a world where we all belong. So here's to the mornings with coffee in hand and Crafty on the screen, the true heart of the land. With a hit and a crack, he's paving the way through stone and through story. He inspires the day.
Hello, everybody. Test one, test two.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, here we go. We're off. Turn the heater back on now that the introductory music is over. What's up, everybody? What's today? Monday? Yeah. Today's a Rock to Point day. Rock to Point. Let's see. What are we going to do? Maybe I should just take a slab off of this. Or a spall, I should say. And nap it. This is a challenge rock. I don't know. I got a box today from Aaron. I was going to nap something from the box, but I didn't bring the box to open it up. I don't even know what's in the box yet. What else do I got? Let's see. I got a bunch of rocks. Imagine that. I keep wanting to nap this one, but I'll probably end up sending this one to someone else. Yeah. I'm gonna send this to someone else. Let someone else deal with that. I don't want to nap any big stuff like that. Unless I have to. Let's see. What is this? Harper, Texas black shirt. Yes. It looks kind of dicey, but it's perfect for video. Leo gave me this, and he also labeled it. I like it. Hey, Danny Moore, $5 Band-Aid fund. Thank you, thank you. Yes. That's funny. I just bought Band-Aids yesterday. So, yeah. I've been reimbursed for my Band-Aids. Awesome. Sweet. All right, let's start getting into this. This is a rock to point day. Yeah, and I get to use modern tools. I don't use natural tools until Friday. So we're just going to go and use all the cheater tools today. Yeah, it'd be awesome. You didn't know you could cheat in Flintknapping? Man. Yeah, where you been? Not napping. So, this is just a rocky pickup off the ground. Yeah, my friend Leo must have just picked this up off the ground. Because it looks like the Native Americans said, nah, it's okay. We don't want to deal with this one. We'll leave it for some suckers later on. Yeah. Yep, because see, it's not that great. Surprise, surprise. But that's the way it goes. You take it home, no matter what, and you test it out at home. Yeah. The best way to collect rock is just to grab it all and test it at home. That's the best way. Yes? Well, no, it's not actually. That's just the most fun way. It's not the best way. The best way is to test it out in the field, and if it's like this, you just go, nope, sorry. No can do. It's all cruddy. What makes it cruddy like this? This looks like it's been heat damaged in a fire. This one does look fire damaged because look at all the. It looks like it has a lot of fire pops, and the internal cracking looks like fire damage, also. Yeah, it looks like it's been damaged by a fire. Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe there's some salvageable pieces in here. The funny thing is, it doesn't feel like a heat treat. A lot of times, this fire damage stuff does not feel like a heat treat, where it should feel like a heat treat if it's got exposure to fire, you know what I mean? Maybe it was a flash fire really quick. Maybe. Let's see. Let's try a bigger bopper. The bigger bopper upper. Yay. That solved that problem. I didn't like that part anyway. Let's see if there's anything salvageable. No, it does not look salvageable. Well, come on. Can't even flip it over without dropping it. This might be salvageable on this side. It looks like it has some salvageability. Yeah. Salvageability. Well, we'll see. That's what I get for accepting the challenge rocks. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. Uh-oh. That snapped off without even me hitting it. Amazing. Remarkable. What a coincidence. There's no ring to it. So it's probably all nasty. You can make little bitty arrowheads, maybe. Maybe. But I'm not going to make a little bitty. I'm going to grab another rock. Okay. some of this, man, it's probably it's all nasty. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's dicey. Every single bit of it is risky, so it's not worth it, because sometimes you get down to thinning it at the very end after spending an hour on it, and there's another little bitty defect when it starts to get really, really thin, and it'll break right at the defect, and you already spent an hour on it. So it's not worth it. Let's see. Hold on, I got more. I should prepare better. How's this one? I'm just reaching into the bucket and pulling them out at random. Yeah. Ooh, that one sounds pretty nice. Oh, I don't know. This is too good for us. Yeah, it's too good for this channel. I should save this because I'm gonna break this on video. Let's get another one. It's not so good. Why am I gonna get ones that are not so good? Because I don't want to break it by accident. Oh, this looks sweet. I don't know, it's got some damage on this side. Maybe. Hopefully not. Oh, it looks okay. We don't have very many viewers today. I wonder why that is. Everyone is busy with the storms, power outages. Some people in the Northeast got hit pretty bad by storms today. We didn't get much here in Vermont. Luckily. But it's gonna be sweet. Luckily we did not get much snow. But I probably just jinxed it. Yeah. This is almost like a root beer chert. It's got the same kind of cortex as a root beer. Yeah. It's almost too good for us. So this is going to be good. Even though it has the same looking cortex as the other nasty one. You know, very similar cortex, but one is good and one is not good. Imagine that. Stone is variable. Can you imagine that? Remarkable. You could never imagine rocks different from each other, even though they look the same. How is that even possible? Yeah. That's why you cannot be sure how good the material is that an artifact is made from. You never know by looking at it. Although some people insist that they know how good a material is just by looking at it. And they end up being dum-dums. They smart themselves into being stupid. They don't realize the variability. Nope. And they spread their non-realizations into the internet community. And people start regurgitating. Yeah, the regurgitarians will regurgitate all the ignorance. And then we'll get a bunch of mess on the internet. Yeah. That's why the internet's so messy. It's full of trash. So I've got to be careful about how I nap this piece. Yes. See if we can hit that one again. Maybe complete the flake that I was thinking of getting before I was so crudely interrupted. Okay, that worked a little bit. Yeah, we got a big lumpage combined with cortex. That's not going to be easy. Dang it. It's not going to be easy. I don't see any good areas of attack. I'm going to have to do something I don't like doing. Creating a spot on the edge that might work. So I might be able to hit that down this way now. But first I want to see if I can take some of this off. Why? I don't know. I want to see what's under that cortex. That's my excuse. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I can work on that. All right, so. People are slowly rolling into the live stream. Probably a bunch of new people too. Let's see. I'm going to check the chat in a minute. Okay, I want to get this. I want to get the easy part done first, and then I'll check the chat. Let's see if I can remove that lumpage. This is the largest bopper that I have. Yeah, this is like a 14 ounce. Let's see if it did it. Yes. Hopefully. Not too bad. Not too shabby. There's a lot of shabbiness in Flintknapping. That was not too shabby. Yeah. Shabby is the opposite of savvy. Yeah. There's a lot of savvy in Flintknapping as well. All right. What am I? You'll see. What does it? Did it work? I think it worked. It's giggly. Yeah. It sounds good too. I love the sound of Flint in the morning. It's not morning, I know. It's from a movie, okay? All right, let's try a smaller bopper now that we're. Well, I'm gonna check the chat. The hard part's over. I mean, not the hard part. I get that mixed up every single time. The easy part's over. All right, the hard part's coming up. Let's see what we got in the chat. I use my other phone because I can't see the chat very well unless I do it this way. So I got one super chat. Let me put a heart and a like on it. Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Looks harder than woodpecker lips. Yeah, that's the first stone I took out was no good. Yep. So we've got, who do we got in the chat? Keith, Mac Bales, Stidely Designs, Alan Young, Flakesguard, Bren, TJ and Soul, hey, Charles Rooker, some people I don't know, Danny Moore, hello, Bass Fisherman, sounds familiar, but I'm not sure. Alan is here. Sheriff John Bunnell, I know they are trying to be. Something. Oh, yeah, the theme music is not Nickelback. It's a theme provided by Danny Collins, who, yeah, it is AI, but it was written and composed, through some kind of app by Danny Collins. And Danny Collins is a musician, right? I saw him play the Native American flute, unless I'm mistaken, on one of the videos. Let's see, Dockenstein is here. Danny Moore, Jeremy. Let's see, Ross Wellman. I think I saw you already. Let's see, Jim Main, Graylin, Mike Mason. Let's see, who else? Mr. Jim is here. Senku is here. Do that one for I rock to point. Yeah. I'm trying. Make a portal. Let's see here. Keith Callahan. We got and something. Let's see. I got an auction going on right now in case you don't know what's going on. In the background, in the beginning, I was checking the auction. Let me see. Keith says we got about 8 inches of wet snow. It took my little tractor out. I took my little tractor out and cleared my lane and 2 others today. Eastern shore of Maryland, Dorchester County is where I'm at. Yeah, Maryland got hit pretty hard. I think Rhode Island is the one that got hit the hardest. I don't know anybody from Rhode Island, though. Light travels faster than sound. This explains why some people appear intelligent until you hear them speak. They appear intelligent before, yeah. I get it. I see what you did there. Let's see. Who else? Red-Eyed Patriot, our moderator, is in the house. Tommy Taylor is here. Chase Williams. Charles is here. Charles Brumbaugh. Martin Hill. Killer Cork. Hey. Tommy Taylor. How do you make my pressure pad? You mean, I don't know. I got 2 of them. Let's see. This one here, I did not make this one. This was made by Mike Tufts. See how it's very clear. You can read that very clearly. Yes. Anyway, it's Mike Tufts makes these and sells these. I cut that groove in there myself, but yeah, it's rubber on wood. That's what he does. Now I make mine out of leather and wood, if I can find it. These are the ones that I make. They are domed pads with no slots, and I use these for my natural tools, or my natural tool napping. Yeah, this is just, I think this is maple, kind of rotted a little bit because it was in the yard for a while. Covered over with very thick vegetable tanned leather, or veg tanned, VEG, tanned, TANNED, veg tanned leather, very thick, and they're domed in both directions. Convexity. I like convexity on the pads so I don't break stuff. I do make my own slotted pads as well, but I don't have any right now. I'll show you when I do it, when I make one. And I just glue them together. Yeah. I glue the leather onto the wood with contact cement. Contact. CONTACT. Contact cement. All right. What are we napping? Is that chalk flint? Well, yeah. I don't know. I think this is just chert. It's like a root beerish chert from Harper, Texas. Yeah. That's what we are napping. And since we are doing it, how come you don't know? Since we are doing it. This is a lot like a root beer chert. It's nice. For a raw chert, these are nice flakes. And this is going to be good. I mean, I might enjoy this, actually. We're going to get back to this once I finish with the chat, because I'm supposed to interact with the audience. So if you don't like it, you can lump it. Yeah. All right. Danny Collins does a great job with Native American flute. Yes, he does. So yeah, that was Danny that I saw playing that Native American flute. He does a great job. Yes, yes. And he's the one that provided the theme music for my channel. So he's a musician. He knows how to make those. Even though it's AI, I still like it very much. But you know how I go. You know how I like AI to begin with. I'm not a hater as far as AI goes, but there's a lot of people who don't like it. That's okay. That's okay. There's many other Flintknapping channels out there. You don't have to put up with me. Let's see. Flixguard, Light Trip. Okay, I read that one already. Let's see. Everyone says hi, hi. Hello, hello. Everybody says hello. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I can see. Let's see. I can see the past, says Danny Moore. Yeah, you can see into the past this way. It's a time portal. Yeah. Ah. Why do I laugh? I don't know. I'm still. Yeah, let's see. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? Oh yeah, I was watching some shorts today to see what people are interested in, and I still can't understand what people are interested in. No. There was this one guy. There was like over 400 people watching. Same deal as the guy that was. I mean, it's just weird. When I was watching another shorts video, there was a guy digging a hole in the ground on his farm, and 400 people were watching, or he either got 400 likes and 1,000 people watching. I think the same deal with this one. I can't remember if it was 400 likes with 1,000 people watching or something like that. Today, a guy was hitting a bullet with a nail and a hammer nail while the bullet was clamped in a vise. He's hitting the back of it to try to shoot it, I guess, to fire it with a hammer and a nail. But he had that on loop, tapping the nail with a hammer on the primer of the bullet. But it didn't fire. But he had that on loop continuously, that he was just tapping the back of it. There was either 400 people watching or 1,000 people watching, and either 400 likes or 1,000 likes. I can't remember. But that's what people want to see. And it was just on loop. It was every 3 seconds. It would just repeat, the guy tapping on the back of that bullet. And people would come into the chat and say, hey, guys, it's fake. It's fake. But there's hundreds of people coming in and watching it. He probably made some money off of that one. Just looping it. I should just loop these strikes, the same flake over and over again. If I get a good flake, I just loop it. Yeah. Loop that over and over again, and we'll get like 1,000 people watching it. See? And then I'll just loop that continuously. And I keep doing that and loop it again. Hit it again and keep doing that. Just loop it over and over again. Right? No? Yeah, it's probably not as interesting as watching someone trying to fire a bullet with a hammer and nail. I don't know. I give up. I don't know what people are interested in. Anyways, the other shorts videos are just normal viewerships. You know, I watch these other shorts videos and they might have 30 people watching or 50 or 100. I'm trying to find these ones that lots of people watch, but those are just really, really stupid videos. I guess the more stupid they are, the more people they get watching them. Yeah. Anyways, I had to get that off my chest because I said, man, that's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I'm going to make some horizontal format videos soon. Probably tomorrow, some more instructional videos tomorrow in the horizontal format. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was looking at. I can actually buy a TV that I can flip. You know, a TV with a wall mount behind it that turns the TV vertical. And as long as there's a adjustment on the TV itself to do, you know, portrait and landscape, switch it back and forth. I can watch these short videos, these vertical format videos on the TV in vertical format. Yeah. If you didn't know you could do that, you can do that. So I might buy one of those TVs. They're not that expensive. If it's a small one, that I can switch from horizontal to vertical and change the format. There's buttons on the TV that you can change the format from horizontal to vertical, and then put it on a wall mount that I can, you know, swivel it. That way I can watch the vertical format videos on a TV. Yeah. Instead of seeing those black bars on the sides that I see when I'm watching it on my computer. I got rid of my dad's TV. Yeah. He had an old one. So I'm not going to keep that one. I want a brand new one with all the nice new features like that. The vertical format option. Because I want to see how this looks on TV. Yeah. See what I need to do to improve the look of this. All right. All right. So there, I got that crud off of there. Now what do? This is the easy part's done. Now comes the harder parts. All right, let's see. So we got a biface. Biface is flaked more than 60%, 60% on both sides. Both sides. That's a biface, like a bicycle. Two sides napped more than 60%. Bifaces become preforms. Yeah, so all preforms are bifaces. Well, almost all preforms are bifaces, but not all bifaces are preforms. Yeah. Get it? No? It's too much Flintknapping jargon. Yeah. You're going to have to learn the jargon, or you'll be lost. Yeah. I'm already lost, dude, because you don't explain it. I want every little detail and every little hit and every little angle and every little amount of force. I want everything, and I want it all scientifical. Yeah, make sure you get the physics just right, because if you don't, I'll be lost and I'll die. Sorry. Maybe you can find some other guy that gives you all that. I'm not that good. I don't know how I do these things, actually. How did I just do that? I don't know. I've been doing this a long time, so I guess it's just time and practice. Yeah. I don't know how I set that up. I don't know why I hit there first. I didn't really know how that was going to go. So I don't know what to say. I can make stuff up, though. Yeah. I've said that before on video. I can make stuff up and sound more interesting and more smarter. Yeah. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. See, this is the hard part of Flintknapping, is thinning it down. Okay? In case you didn't know. So a lot of people don't know. They think that this next part is the easy part and the hard part was getting it down to a biface. They think the opposite. No, this is the hard part, trying to get it thinner. It might look easy, but I've been doing this a long time, so looks are deceiving. It's still nerve-wracking, even though I can do it. It still gets on my nerves. It's still what I call the sweat stage, especially if I'm napping something that breaks easy in half. And you really don't know it until you actually break one of these in half of this type of material. And then you go, oh, okay, so it's going to be a breaking in half type stuff. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. Flintknapping is so awesomely fun and fantastically great as a hobby. Yeah. So tremendous. Yeah. Just wait until you start doing it. And then you'll realize that, holy smokes, how do people do this, and how did they do it in the past without lots of pain and suffering and misery and trials and tribulations? How do they do it? Well, you just answered your own question. Yeah. Yeah. No, I didn't answer my own question, dude. You gotta explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. Well, maybe you're not too far off from 5 years old. There's a lot of people that watch my channel that are like 10, 11, 12, or even younger. They don't understand. No. They just understand internet culture that they've been surfing the whole time. I will try to explain things during my instructional videos, but my live streams are supposed to be fun. They're not supposed to be all technical. Yeah. Okay. I'm supposed to enjoy this too. Yeah. All right, so let's see if I can get this thinner without breaking it. Yeah, that's the whole thing. The whole thing in Flintknapping is to try to do it without breaking it. There's many ways to do this, and there's no right or wrong way. Except, one exception, if you break it, that's the wrong way. Yeah. If you break it in half or you make a big mistake, that's the wrong way. Other than that, there's no wrong way. Come on. So that wasn't too bad, except I scooped it a little bit too much. I can install a curve pretty easily, and that's not what I want to do. Do not want to install a curve doing this. Yeah, like that. I might actually enjoy this somewhat because the material is behaving. Yes, it is. It's actually flaking when I hit it. Sometimes, if it's a tough stone, it won't flake, and I'll have to hit it super duper hard. Super duper? Yeah, it's a Flintknapping term. You gotta hit it super duper sometimes. Alright, let's see. Didn't hit it hard enough. I don't want to hit it really hard on the base, because that snaps it in half sometimes. But if I hold back, it doesn't do much. Yeah, those people that want to see big flakes might be disappointed. I want to see how they fluted it. Yeah, flute it. Do it. I'm not going to flute this. No. Even if you tell me to do it. Nope. I'm going to be careful. Fluting is highly risky. That's why fluted points did not last very long in the archaeological record. I think the longest estimate for fluted points in the archaeological record is 700 years. Compared to the thousands of years that other points were made, the fluted points were very short-lived. Very short-lived. And one of the main reasons, I think, and many people think, not that I respect the consensus, but one of the reasons why people think that they was short-lived is because they're too risky, and that you're smarting yourself into being stupid when you try to flute. Yeah. Just you thin from the sides like that. Thin from the sides. Don't try to thin from the base, because it snaps it in half a lot of times. Yes, it does. Hitting it from the side doesn't snap it in half as often. Nope. Yeah, like that. That's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, see? Alright, preliminary thinning. That's the next stage, is complete. Right? Easy part is biface, and then the next harder part is the preliminary thinning. And it gets harder and harder until I finish the thinning. And then the notching isn't too bad. Okay, so this is a pause. A pause between the stages. So let me collect some flakes. Okay? I need to collect these good flakes and not mix them up with these bad flakes. Alright, so you guys can go make a sandwich or put them Hot Pockets in the microwave. I'll be right back. Right? Okay. All right, let's see. Yay. All right. Everybody got their slices of pizza ready? Cokes and pizzas? By the way, you should not be eating any of that stuff. I'm just saying. Yeah. If you're a man and you're 25 years or older, you should not be eating any of that baby food anymore. You should only be eating meat and a few vegetables, and that's it. It'll be good for your brain. If you want to be a better flint napper, you need to take care of your brain. Okay. What do we got? Hot pocket time, says Killer Cord. Yeah. Pizza. Tommy Taylor says roast beef and rice with cornbread for me. No. You give your cornbread and rice to the kids, and then you eat the roast beef. Yeah. Kids can survive on the carbohydrates, but adults, no. It makes them stupid. Makes adults stupid. All right. And I tell you these things because I like you. Okay? I'm gonna tell it to you straight because I care about you. All right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, so to speak. Danny Moore says 24 hot wings being delivered. I feel like Al Bundy waiting on a pizza. Yeah. Somebody says we got done inhaling birra tacos. What's birra tacos? What is that? I never heard of this. And I've eaten a lot of tacos in my day. Hey, Fertile Joe or Bushy is here. He says crap beer and pepperoni pizza. What else for breakfast? Dang it. I don't know. What did I have today? I bought some ground pork on sale the other day. Yeah, I've been eating lots of ground pork and salt and pepper, yeah. One of these days I'll make my own sausages. I just fry it. I just flatten it out and fry it like little burgers. Yeah, and chicken. And the only vegetables I eat right now are I'm sampling these little sourdough breads, see if they're agreeable with me. And so far, as long as I only eat like let's say a quarter slice of bread per day, just 1/4 of it, I'm okay, and my digestion is good, and my gut is functioning properly. I don't need to eat more than that amount of bread per day. But it has to be, so far, it has to be sourdough bread and only 4 ingredients. The sourdough culture, water, bread, and salt. Water, flour, and salt. For the bread, yeah. I was eating vegetables that I was growing in my garden, like my pumpkins, and the neighbor gives me his squash and stuff like that, but I already ate those. Let's see. I'm going for some cheesy chicken and shrimp, some vinegar, tomato, and cucumber and onion. Let's see. Yeah, I never had the birra tacos. I don't know what that is. I mean, I might have had it, but I don't remember it being called that. Patrick, I got your package. Looks like nice rocks. Thanks. Jim Cooper got my package. Okay, cool. Yeah, there should be at least one decent piece that's a Georgetown chunk. I don't know about the other pieces. They're just big. I'll probably send you this. What I showed, like, Jim, I'm probably going to send you this chunk and this chunk in the next batch, along with some other stuff. I'm not napping these big chunks anymore. Yeah. I'll collect them, but I won't nap them. I'll just send them out. Let's see. Somebody's eating spaghetti. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, someone explain what birra tacos is. I might try that on my birthday. I cheat on my diet on my birthday and Christmas and on Halloween. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially Halloween. Oh, dang. Haha. Okay, that's it. Let's get back. I look in the chat to see if there's questions. No questions? Then we can get back to business. Yes, yes. So I'm going to make some instructional videos coming up soon. I've been neglecting the long format videos. I've been trying to set up my my bow making shop, or an area for me to store all my bow making stuff. And I'm in the process. Yes, I got to set up in this little shed. I've got a bunch of stuff already, but I'm going to clear half of it out and put my bow making stuff in here. So it'll be half like Flintknapping and half bow making. Yeah, I can't do only Flintknapping anymore. No, because it's too much dust. I'm worried about the dust. I don't have any symptoms of silicosis or anything like that, right? I just don't want to develop symptoms. So I can't be napping all the time. So I'm going to get into other things. I'll still be napping, but not as much. And that's why one of the reasons why I'm not napping big pieces anymore, because the big pieces generate a lot of dust compared to the smaller pieces. Yeah, and I do have a respirator and a dust mask and all that. I have a respirator and a dust mask, the expensive ones and the cheap ones, and I switch depending on what I'm doing. If I need to focus a lot, I can't wear the respirator because it's too distracting. But if I'm just doing bifacing and easy stuff, I'll wear the respirator with the big filters. But if I have to do anything detailed, I can't be wearing the respirator because it's too cumbersome, and I don't know, I just can't do it. But yeah, all this preliminary abrading on these big pieces generates a ton of dust. Which is okay in very small exposure, but not constantly. All right, here we go. What are we up to now? We're going to do indirect percussion, just like everybody's been waiting for. Wait, I don't even know what indirect percussion is. It's not percussion, it's percussion. Yeah. I know I don't say it right. Or it sounds like I don't. I try to listen to myself and review my videos, but I immediately change the channel. Yeah. I don't watch myself. No. I don't like it. Dang it. What's up? I have to go through a little learning curve phase, okay? To try to get used to the material, and it's going to look all nasty crunchy. But I just took that flake off, and it worked, so I think we're in business. Yeah. But yeah, there's a learning curve for each piece. Every piece is slightly different. Okay. Yes? Yes, yes. Every piece is slightly different. That is the truth. Yeah, okay. And there is a learning curve in every stage. And the more experience you have, the faster you can adjust to these little stages and to these materials. But there's still that little learning curve period that if you don't get it right, You're gonna have a bad day. Yes, yes. Sometimes the days are bad. In Flintknapping, yeah. So if you're doing the Flintknapping and it's not working out, it might be just a bad day. Yeah. Because there is such a thing. It's just, either you need more rest or you got too much stress and you need to figure out how to eliminate the stress. And yeah, you can do meditation or whatever. I don't know. If you're napping while stressed, it's not good unless the Flintknapping helps reduce the stress, which is possible. That'd be good. For me, sometimes the Flintknapping reduces the stress, but most of the time it actually creates more stress. Unless I'm not worried about being successful. Yeah, if I'm just napping and I don't care if I break it, that can relieve stress. Oh yes. But like when I'm napping on video, it's never completely stressless. It's always stressful when I'm napping on video. Yes, yes. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're causing step fracturings. I nap opportunistically, so I don't always strike in places that are perfect to strike on. Just so you know, okay? I don't always prepare the edges just right either. But as time goes on, as you watch more and more of it, you'll see that I'm more and more careful as I go. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, let's see what we got. We got nasty spots on here. But for the most part, it is cooperating. And hopefully I'll be able to finish this point before the end of the live stream. Got one more hour. Dang it, already been on for an hour? Man. That's not good. I lose track of time. How time flies when I'm not having any fun. Yeah. No, but this particular piece is not bad. It's not a very bad challenge rock. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's cooperating. See that? It is cooperating as long as I'm careful. Yeah. Sometimes I'm careful and it just doesn't cooperate at all. But being careful to do it just right helps. Yeah. It doesn't always work, but it helps. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Got rid of the step fracturing, and now I've got to look to see. Okay, I've got to thin it. Yeah. Even more. Thin it even more. More and more and more. We're not even close to where it needs to be. To show you the potential. I mean, I can stop thinning now and make something out of it, but to show you the potential of how thin it can go, we're not even close. All right, ready? I'm ready. We'll start at the tip, and it's thin on my way down. Yep. Start on a tip and work my way down. See how it goes. It's less random now because there is advantage to doing this in a methodical way from the tip down. There is an advantage to doing it that way. At least for me. But you can do it any way you want. You can start from the base and work up, but I tend to work from the tip down. It just seems to work okay for me. Yep. Probably because the tip is the hardest for me, and if I start there, I'm not going to be doing it when I'm the most tired. If I start down here and then this way, I'm actually tired up here at the tip by the time I get there. And that's when I do not need to be tired, because it's the hardest one for me. The tip area. So I'd rather be tired on the bottom. Okay? All right. And yeah, just a little difference in being tired makes all the difference in Flintknapping. Yeah. Because you'll skip what you need to do because it's like, man, it's starting to get on my nerves.
I don't have that problem. I can be perfect the whole way, dude. Yeah. I don't get tired like that. You're just a loser.
Okay, that's fine. You're blessed if you don't get tired like that. Yeah. I tend to get fatigued mentally with these kinds of things pretty fast. It's like reading. Reading for me, I could never curl up and read a book, as an example, because reading for me is an uphill battle. Yeah. It's like climbing steep stairs. Reading for me is like climbing steep stairs. The longer I'm on the stairs, the worse I feel. I cannot curl up and climb steep stairs. No. Like some people can curl up and read a book. Some people can curl up and do some napping for hours. I can't do it. No. Cannot do it. Let's see. So yeah, I take breaks. I take breaks after each piece. Sometimes I never get back to napping after I take a break. Because that one piece was so nasty or whatever. Yeah. I need to be on top of my game with each piece. Or, I end up breaking it. Especially if the piece has got, if it's nice material. I can't be taking the risk of napping when I don't feel like napping. Yeah. I got to feel like it. When I first started napping, I would just nap and break almost everything, but I didn't care. I was not a professional napper when I started, obviously. So if I broke something, it wasn't like, man, I just lost a couple $100, man. I wish I make a couple $100 with each piece. I'm just saying, I just lost $30, dang it. I was not like that in the beginning. It was like, ooh, I broke that one. Next. Let's see what else we can break. Yeah. I don't care. And then start making little pieces, little arrowheads out of the flakes. That was nice. Very satisfying to get a little step fracture out of there with the ending of the flake. It's satisfying because it's lucky. Yeah, it's like winning the lottery or winning a gamble. It's satisfying. The human brain is strange. Yeah. It gets a lot of satisfaction from being lucky. Yes, it does. But depending on luck too much is not good. Yeah. Not good at all. So I missed this part. This part is really thick. How did I miss that earlier? I don't know. When I was up here near the tip, I missed this part. I'm supposed to thin the tip, all of it, before I start going further down the blade.
It's because you're a spaz, dude. Bruh. You're just like chaotic. Chaos. You're just a chaos napper. Yeah.
I know. You don't need to tell me. I just messed it up too. I just messed it up. Because the edge is getting really thin. That's my excuse. Edge is getting way too thin. The whole piece is starting to get thin. That means the edge is getting really thin. And when that happens, it doesn't support the flakes very well. And you end up crunching it and making it all nasty. When you exactly at the time you're not supposed to make it crunchy and all nasty. Yeah, this is exactly the wrong time to do that. But this is when it happens the most because of the physics. Yeah. Physics says that it's too delicate to do what you want to do at this stage. So there's a limit to how thin it can go. Not only due to skill, but due to the physics. You know, the fracture mechanics. Yeah, see, I start losing edge to these ring cracks or these bites taken out of the edge. See that? It starts doing that because of the fracture mechanics, the properties of the fracturing of the material. You can't avoid that, so you have to compensate somehow. And the way to compensate is just to stop thinning it. But everyone says, no, don't stop thinning it, because I know they can get thinner, because they were thinner back in the day, dude. Bro, please. I got one that's thin. I got an artifact that's super thin. Gotta keep going so I can see how you do it. Yes, I know. I will try my best. Yes? Yeah. Yeah, like that, see? You gotta take a risk. That's how it is. I risked it. What was the risk? You know, that could take the bite out of the edge again, but luckily it didn't. So that's how it goes. That's how they did it. They're walking on the edge of the cliff. In risky Flintknapping, which is thinning, basically, you're walking on the edge of a cliff, and you can fall off at any time. Yeah, just by slipping. It might look safe walking on the edge of the cliff, but you could slip on a you know, a wet patch or a little leaf that's slippery or whatever. The equivalent in Flintknapping is there could be some nasty spot on the edge or a weak spot or an existing crack that you can't see. It'll mess you up. And there it goes. The whole thing breaks. Or you remove way too much off the edge, etc., etc. Yes, yes. Now I'm just going to very carefully trim it to see how it looks. I can see the lumps easier when the edge is straighter. So I'm kind of straightening the edge a little bit more, and I can already see where the lumps are. This side here is pretty flat. This side up here is pretty flat, so I don't need to flake across that anymore. This is not flat, it's convex, so I can flake more on this side because it is convex, and it needs to be thinned down because it is convex. Okay? But as it gets flatter and flatter, it's harder and harder to flake across. So you're going to stop at some point. And I usually stop when it starts to get too steppy, which is a little bit too late, but oh well. I got to push it to the limit, and it's not always pretty. But at least I know that I couldn't do any more. Yeah. And each piece is different. You can't just say, well, this is like root beerish chert. That means you can thin it down to like a 1/16 of an inch. Yeah, because it's root beer chert. No. It depends on the piece. Some root beer chert, yeah, you can thin down a lot, and some you cannot. Some you can thin down a lot, and some you cannot. Okay. You are limited by your tools, even though you might not be limited by your skill. The tools can sometimes limit you. As an example of limits. That was good. See, I can't do too many of those, though. Once I get that done, it's flat, right? So the next flake over that area is probably not going to be as easy to reach the middle. If I wanted to try another flake to thin it even further. So that's as far as that's going to go, probably. But I look for other areas that can be flaked if they're lumpy. Like it's still kind of lumpy right here. Right, I can taper this down more by removing this up here. So let's try that. Yes. But I got to move the edge more this way. Especially right there, I got to move that edge up. It's going to reduce the width, but oh well. Let's see. Or I can take it from the other side. I see a good opportunity from the other side, maybe. It just looks a lot better if it's nicely tapered. You don't have to, because artifacts a lot of times are not nicely tapered. Sometimes they're thicker up here than they are in the middle. It just depends on the napper, what the napper can tolerate. Because these things are not made for show back in the past, in most cases. They're just made for function. And as long as it functions, it's up to the napper how thin it is, or how tapered, or how pretty it is. Yeah. And a lot of times, you can't really spend all that much time doing this. So, they just left it nasty sometimes. Like you see in the archaeological record, some of the artifacts are kind of nasty. Not very carefully made. And sometimes it's not because the napper didn't have any skill. It could have been because he's just not going to spend that much time on it to make it all nice and pretty. Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to go around and try to make this more nice and pretty. Yeah. Because I don't need this to survive. Right, this is not a survival weapon for me. I'm a professional napper now, so I'm going to sell this. So I'm going to make it pretty. And I've made sure that I have time to do it. If I was doing this for survival, I could have stopped thinning it a long time ago. Yeah. Okay, come on, please. Let me do this. No, come on. I know you can do it. See, yeah, I reached the limit of that. I tried to do it, but it didn't want to. So instead of thinning it, it just made it more narrow. Took a lot off the edge. These things don't want to be arrowheads. Or knife blades or whatever. They don't want to. No. That's thin enough, I think. So I'm just going to start pressure flaking. And if I see a thick spot after pressure flaking this for a little bit, I might go back to percussion to get rid of the thick spot. It's much easier to get rid of thick spots with percussion. And sometimes it's not possible to get rid of a thick spot with pressure. So it's not only easier, it's sometimes your only option. Yeah, percussion to thin it down sometimes is your only option. Let's see, like right here, I want to hit the backside of this little steppy area right there because I can. There's still a lumpy high spot here, so I can run flakes into there. Still convex. So it seems like a good opportunity, but I didn't reach on that one. Let's see. How about that one? Yes. All right. But it did something strange on this side. What did it do? Yeah. Doo-doo on that side. That's what it do. Here's my picker. Pretty soon I'm going to have to get rid of this tool because it's wearing down a lot. Or it's almost reached the end of its life. Yeah, but it's still a good picker. I can pick flakes out. I was watching Robert Lofton do his flake over grind and also flaking on slabs. And the way he picks out these step fractures is he uses a utility knife. On obsidian, you can use on this you get metal marks, but on obsidian you can pick out your step fractures with a utility knife, and it works really good. But on this, on the chert or flint, you've got to be very picky about your picking. You can't be dragging anything across the surface because it'll leave a streak or a metal mark. So I just push very precisely on the front of the step fracture and then try to pick it out without scratching the surface. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, that's good enough for now. I'm going to check the chat. At this stage, back in the day, they would put the stem in many cases, and then finish up the sharpening later. So I'll put the stem in next. Okay? Yeah, and then I'll sharpen it at the very end. All right, so let's take a pause here. The hardest part in Flintknapping is done already. Okay, you missed it? Man, next time, I got live streams 3 times a week. If you missed the hardest part, you still got a chance to watch some of my other live streams. Yeah. So that was the hardest part of this particular session, getting it thinner to where I don't need to thin it anymore. Okay, let's look at the chat. I still got another 40 minutes to go, so don't leave. Take a break and go shopping or whatever for 5 minutes because you forgot your jelly or whatever from the store. Grape jelly for your donuts. I mean, for your bread or whatever. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, let's see. Amazing. Thank you for sharing, says Gregory. You're welcome. You're welcome. Senku says, I always miss your live streams. Dang it. You need to set up the notifications. The abrasive material can be dangerous. There's an industrial abrader plant near me. I have a friend whose dad died from the lung cancer he got working in the plant. Oh, dang. Talking about the dust. Yeah, we got to be worried about dust as flint knappers. Rock dust is very hazardous. The obsidian dust is less hazardous, or glass dust. It's the rock dust that'll get you. Robert says, Patrick, about the dust. For me, it seems that the abrader leaves more dust than the flint. Is the abrader dust also dangerous? I have no idea what abraders are made of. It's silicone dioxide or something. It is similar to rock dust, but not as bad. And yeah, but you can damage your lungs by inhaling too much of this as well. But this is not the same as rock dust. But it can irritate the lungs, but it doesn't irritate the lungs in the same way as rock dust. Rock dust has silica in a crystalline form, and it's that crystalline form that is dangerous. Rocks have silica in crystal form, and what it does is it reacts chemically with your lungs, with the lung tissue. It reacts chemically. It creates some weird irritant. I can't remember what it is. And it irritates the lungs, which causes scar tissue, which reduces your ability to breathe. And then on top of that, it messes with your immune system. So you get pneumonias and stuff easier in your lungs. And usually what ends up killing you is the lung infection type stuff. Okay. Where am I in the chat? This is not working? I'm going to look for questions. Let's see. You guys are talking with each other? That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Yeah, exchange addresses and stuff. There's good connections. You can make good connections with people that are in the chat if you need tools or rocks or information. Just so you know, if you're new.
Well, what was that? I was just about to run to the store and get some jelly, like you said. What did you say?
I said there's good people in the chat that you can get information from, and sometimes rocks, and sometimes other stuff. Like I got sinew from a subscriber, as an example. I've also gotten bow staves and stuff. I think Jesse sent me one. Yeah, you can get all kinds of stuff. Dawkinstein says, I thought I was going to Lee or something. I see what you did there. Yeah. We won't get into politics, though. Let's see. I watch all my videos multiple times, and I'm always like, why is this idiot talking? He's not even saying anything. Yeah, when I watch my videos, it's kind of cringy. For myself, yes. I hardly watch any of my videos in review all the way through. I skip around and see how it goes, but yeah. I'm trying to get more into editing my videos, so I'm going to have to tolerate it. Let's see. Danny Moore says, it ain't thin until you can see through it. Yeah, I wish. I wish I could get it that thin. Oh, skirt steak tacos. Yeah, fajita tacos. Man, I've eaten a ton of fajita tacos. Yeah. Oh, yes. Much too much. Let's see. Skirt steak. They call it fajita in South Texas. Or in most of Texas, anyway. Let's see. Brandon says, I see so many people miss the whole point of these types of things, trading and testing and such for people. That is the true value I feel of these communities of our little trade routes. Yeah, we got trade routes going. Your camera looks into the future, says retired young. What the F is this? This is a proof of infinity, okay? Deal with it. Let's see. Without them, napping and things do come across quite niche and expensive unless you actually spend time to know the groups of guys you deal with. Also, yeah, go to Knappings. That's why I post a lot of Knappings on my channel. The Knappings are probably the best place for nappers. Yep. And then YouTube, of course. But YouTube is probably the best place. It's so easy. But the next best place for nappers is at Knappings. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, I already got a nice preform from the large root beer looking rock. I think I'm going to heat it to finish it out, though. It started stalling on me a bit. Okay. There you go. If you're new to this and you ask, what the heck is it? You're not realizing that you're new to this. Okay? Don't worry about it. You worry too much. Let's see. I'm looking for questions, okay? So I'm going to be scrolling through looking for questions and see if I can answer them. Sometimes I cannot answer the questions. Sometimes when I do answer the questions, they don't like it. No, they don't like the answer. Sometimes I make sure they don't like the answer on purpose. Yeah. Let's see. Chaos Napper sounds like a D&D character class. Hey, now there's an idea. Let's see. All right, so that's it, right? Yeah. I don't see questions, so here we go. Let's get back to it. Let's put a stem on this. Yeah. What are we gonna make? I don't know yet. Well, I have an idea. I need to put a stem on here. It's probably going to be a paternalis. Yeah. Yep. Because that's basically the simplest one for me, because I've made a ton, but also because it's not that difficult. There's no narrow notches or anything on a paternalis. Some people say pertinalis. Either one is fine. We all know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just trimming lightly. This is raw Texas chert, but it's a high-grade raw. Yes, it is. It behaved itself quite well, actually. So let me trim this around a little bit more so I can see what I have. It's more difficult to trim it if I've got barbs. This is going to have barbs on it, so let me finish this trimming on the sides a little bit and making this less crunchy. Trying to make it less crunchy when it's a barb is dicey. It's going to have barbs on it. So let me get this nice and uncrunched. Maybe thin it a little bit. So I don't have to do it later. Yes. Okay, so that wasn't that hard. That was easy. Okay, so now I can start the process of installing the stem. And on paternalis points, the barbs are somewhat incidental, which means they're just a result of putting in the stem. Yeah. And these paternalis points as a type were around for many thousands of years. Much longer than Clovis or Folsom or any of those other fancy points. This point type was around for thousands of years, rather than hundreds of years. Okay, so if you want something that a lot of Native Americans made for thousands of years in Texas, you just make the Pedernales points. Yeah. And yeah, they did put thinning flakes in sometimes that look like flutes. I'm going to try to do that on this, but they did not always do that. Only if it was a good opportunity did they do it. Only if they saw a good opportunity. Okay? All right. How do I know this? I've just seen many, many artifacts. Many, many artifacts. And they don't all have the nice, pretty thinning flakes, but a lot of them do. So I'm going to try to put a nice thinning flake down the middle of each side. That it'll look kind of like a flute, okay? So the people that want to see flutes, they might get some satisfaction from it. Maybe. I found out lots of people are really, really picky, and it's not satisfying unless it's perfectly exact, or, you know, very, very difficult. They don't want to see just mediocre stuff. They want to see the expert stuff. They want to get their money's worth for something they're watching for free. All right, let's see. I'll do this top part later. I have to remind myself. Yeah. All right, so I need to pressure flake this. So this is where a lot of people, at Knappings, this is where a lot of people leave to go, you know, walk their dog or whatever. What's he doing now? He's pressure flaking. Oh, okay. Suddenly I feel sleepy. It's time for a nap. Yeah, but this is like the most important part of the napping. I know, but it makes me sleepy. Or it makes me feel bad. Why it makes people feel bad at nap-ins, I don't know. But they always leave when I start doing this. And this is one of the most important parts, if not the most important, to set up these edges to shape the stem. Yeah. And get the shape right in general, you know, to get it, and then get some symmetry going. Right? Right. But they don't like it. It's not big flakes. It's these little bitty crumbs.
Yeah, dude, I don't like seeing crumbs. Bruh. Crumbs are crummy. Yeah.
Oh well. You're gonna have to deal with the crumbs, even though they're crummy. I'm gonna drive some big flakes here in a minute, but I'm gonna wait till more people leave before I drive in these big flakes. Okay, have they left yet? Yeah, we lost about 30 people. When I started pressure flaking, I lost about 30, which is unusual because that's what happens at nap-ins. Usually on the live stream, they don't drop away when I start to pressure flake. But on this one, it's been weird today. Yeah. Okay, let's see if I can get a big flake. Yeah, not really. And then crunched it, trying to get that big flake. Let's see about this side. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. Why do I need big flakes right there? Because on the artifacts, there's a lot of times big flakes right there to clear the way for more shaping. Yeah. Come on. No, it's not doing it. It's because it's tough raw stone. There it goes. Yes, tough, raw, crunchy stone. Yeah, it's crunchiferous. It's a Flintknapping term. Don't worry about it. If you never heard of it before, it's because it's a Flintknapping term. Yeah. It looks too bulky right there, right in there. See that? I gotta take out some of this. This flake ran into that mass, so that means there's too much material right there. Okay, so let me try to see if I can get rid of some of that. So what is the practical advantage of doing this these days? Why do we want to make arrowheads these days? Some people say,
You're just making them so you can make fake stuff. Bruh. Fake. It's fake stuff, bruh.
it's a side hustle.
It's not like any side hustle I ever seen. It's like a fake side hustle. It's a grift. You're a grifter, man.
Yeah, well, to each his own opinion. You know. Have I heard that before? Oh, yes. Sometimes they're in the chat. But our moderator's here, so if you say stupid stuff, you may end up not being able to say any more stupid stuff. Let's see if that worked. Almost. It stopped right before the critical area. That never happens. Ever. No. It never stops right before it's supposed to not stop. I'm kidding, yes. Let's see. It means I need to hit it harder, which I don't like doing. I don't like hitting it super duper hard at this stage. It's risky. So did it get it? I got it. I think so. Can I do some more while I'm here? I don't know. I don't have any. See, this needs to be thinned down up here, but I don't have any good places to run a flake that look good. I mean, I can try, but it's really thin on the edges, so that's not going to be a good spot. And this is real thin too, so we'll see. I might be able to run a flake into this spot later, or I can create a spot, create a dull part of the edge, maybe, to run a flake to get that thin down. How much time do I have? I shouldn't worry about it. Not with the time that I have, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah. Switch this to a smaller point. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do this right now. Start at the very tip. I changed my mind. I was gonna do this last, but I changed my mind. Now that I'm up here anyways. Let's see. I could try to do that with pressure, but it's very difficult with pressure. All right, so I'm just taking flakes at random wherever is a good opportunity. And hopefully by the time I'm done with this series of flakes, it'll be thinner and nicer looking. Yeah, like that. See? I planned that perfectly, and it happened exactly like I wanted. Yeah. It's fully controlled. Yeah. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. It didn't happen exactly like I wanted, but it's good enough. Yeah. It went a little wonky. See, it went. See how it went this way and then that way? It's not supposed to do that, but I'll take it. It's thinner and more tapered. Yeah. So it's good. Yes? All right, so let's get back to doing the base. Let's get back to watching people's eyes glaze over and stop watching. Okay. I need to put in those thinning flakes from the base here before I go too far on the side notches. But let's set that up. I did some exercising today, and now I got a sore back. I've got to make sure that when I exercise, I don't overdo it. I'm getting old. I can easily overdo my exercises. It's not a fun thing. Especially because I have not been exercising very much. I have been shoveling lots of snow though, but it's not the same. It's not the healthy type of exercise. Shoveling snow is exercise, but it's not the healthy kind. Anyways, I was trying to exercise earlier, and everything was going fine. But then I started to finish up items for the auction, and then I shot the auction video, and then my back started hurting. I'm saying, dang it. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to. I'm going to do a live stream. I've got to make everything nice and pretty. So I loaded up on the Tylenol. Right? That's what I took? Tylenol? I don't even know. Let me see. Let's see if we can do this thinning flake. Let's see. Am I set up correctly? Let's do a little side flake first. Yeah, okay. I think I can do it. Yeah, that's not bad. Little thinning flake there. Then we're going to do one on the other side. Yeah. It's important not to be too greedy with these thinning flakes, because I could snap the whole thing in half. You could snap right across there. And on the real ones, these thinning flakes are not that greedy. So I'm okay. That's too dull. If it's too dull, it pulls too much and it could snap it. Yeah, it can't be too dull in there. It does need to be a little bit dull, but not a whole lot. Yeah, that's good enough. Run a thinning flake up in there. Not too long because I don't want to make it too thin. Well, it's probably not going to get too thin, but just there is some bulk in here that I'll take out. But on these pedernales points, it's supposed to be bulky in here anyway. That's the thickest part of the point right here where the stem meets the blade. So these little flutes are not that long on these. Okay, all right. Yeah, like that. See, just like that. Doesn't need to be no greedy long flute. Perfect. I think it's perfect. Yeah. Okay, so then I just shape it. Now it's just a matter of shaping the base with mostly pressure, and then I can add some percussion flakes a little bit later if I need to. Yeah, we shall see. Why they put this depression in the bottom, I think it's just so you can thin it down. And it's also, you know, for glue, it increases the surface area for the glue. You put a notch in the bottom, that sort of thing. But I think a lot of times they just created that depression so they could thin it. That's what I'm thinking. So we're just going to carefully put the stem in with pressure flaking, and then once in a while I'll take a percussion flake where it needs to be thinned, or when I need a nice pop out. Let me turn off the heat. This is even though we're past the difficult part, this part makes me nervous because I could easily mess it up and make it look weird. But you can see I pressure flaked it down this way, then flipped it and pressure flaked it down that way. Some of these pedernales points have a little bit of a twist down here because they would favor one side first, or favor one side and then flip it over and favor that same side. I'm going to try to keep it all symmetrical, but you don't have to with these. They can be all wonky. Okay? Most of them were nice and symmetrical, but there are some that are wonky. I don't know if they did that just out of style or because they were in a hurry. I don't know. The wonky ones anyway. But most of them had these big percussion flakes going into the middle from the base of these, either from the bottom or from the sides here. Or they were just very, very strong pressure flakers. Either way, they would make a lot of bold flakes on these. It wasn't a lot of persnickety flakes. I'm going to do some persnickety type flaking. But I'm trying to make it look nice, pretty. And nice and neat. Yeah. If I can get a big bold flake, that'd be great, but it's kind of risky. Come on. I can do that with pressure. So I'm going to take a big bold flake through here, probably through this mass. It's kind of thick right here. But I got to set it up. Yeah, like that. Clear that away nice and wide for the percussion flaker. This one is fine on this side. I could drive another percussion flake in there, but it doesn't need it. But I'll probably do it anyways. It's not going to take much force to do these percussion flakes from the bottoms of these notches. So I'm not worried about it snapping in half, because that can be a concern when doing these. All right. Yeah, like that. And on the other side, let's see. Yeah, like that. Just As long as it stays thick right here where the stem meets the blade, it's true to the original form. Yeah. There's a thick spot right here. Let's see if I can get that. I don't need to flatten that, but I am going to, just for symmetry, run a flake right here to get rid of that lump. Yeah, just for symmetry. It looks fine, but for symmetry, it's got too much bulk right there. In fact, I could probably run a couple more flakes. We can do that later, though. Yeah. Let's just get it set up, and then I'll take those flakes later. Yeah. What time is it? See, I'm worried about the time because I still got to watch the auction. I'm announcing the auction winners at 9 p.m. So I can't take too long with this. On other days, I can go over my time limit. We'll see. I am going to try to finish this, though. There's not much more to go. I just need to deepen these notches and sharpen the blade. And then maybe eliminate a lump here and there. But I don't need to. But, just so it'll be flatter, I can eliminate that lump there. And maybe that lump right here. I don't know. We'll see. What else is there? I think that's it. I just need to pressure flake the rest of it. Okay, so let's do that. All right, so I can talk about stuff now. But on second thought, maybe not. I don't want to ruin these barbs by getting too distracted. Yeah, if I get distracted, I can easily remove a barb by accident. All right, let's do some heavy pressure in the bottom of that notch. Yeah. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, see, that was good. Right there. Yeah. All right, so far so good. Yeah. There was lots of bold flaking on these point types, so I'm going to try to finish off with some bold flaking and not do too much of this trimming after the flakes. Like right now I'm doing the trimming after because I'm setting it up for the next flake. But once I do a nice pop out on this side, I'm going to stop. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to stop trimming a whole lot. I don't need to trim that much. Like, see, once I get a nice pop out like that, I trim a little bit for the pop out on the other side. And then just leave it. Yes? Yeah. There, like that. And just leave it. All right, now the other side. Let's see. Set it up for a pop out. Now, I popped it out last that way, so I'm popping out last that way. Okay. Oops. A little bit of crushing there. I thought it was going to be nice and neat. All right, so this last pop out is just going to be one pop out, and that's it. And I'm just going to leave it just like that. Yes, maybe a little trim. Maybe a little trim. But on a lot of these, it was very sharp down at the bottom of the notch, which means they would just pop it out and leave it. And some of these stems were longer than other stems, but you know, I could go deeper than that, but I'm running short on time. So let's just finish the blade up. Okay, so the stem is done. Let's finish up this blade. Yeah. I do want to take that flake into this area. I'm using the smaller flaker. Let's see if it'll do it. Yeah. It just did a little flake. That's okay. It didn't go as far as I wanted, but that's all right. Yeah, I wanted that one down here. Let's see. Uh-oh. It's not moving. Let's see. There it goes. Beauty. Almost messed it up. No, it's still okay. I think I can thin the rest of it down with pressure flaking. Wherever it might need it. Yeah. And then I'll check the chat before I go. Yeah, it's getting to be almost 8 o'clock Eastern. So I got to finish this up pretty fast. I'll go past 8 o'clock, but I'm not going to go too much past 8 o'clock. And if it needs to be sharpened off camera before I offer this in the next auction, I'll sharpen it a little bit off camera. But for now, I'll show you what I do on at least the preliminary sharpening. Starting at the tip. Come on. Yeah, okay. A little bit too dull, so the copper was kind of slipping. There it goes. So I'm going to be thinning this tip down. I'm moving the edge that way so I can take more of this off of that side. So I'm using downward pressure to move the edge that way. When I do thinning flakes, I have to use inward pressure. But this is just downward so I can move the edge. I don't need to flake any more off of this edge, this side. But I do need to flake more off of this side because there is some lumpiness here. And, well, this is not too bad. I thought that was going to be lumpy. This is a little bit lumpy, but it's not bad. Yeah, I'll just leave that. But this is the part that's that needs to be thinned right there. You'll see when it gets nice and tapered. Hopefully. I have to say hopefully because if I say it's going to be tapered, I'll jinx it. Yeah. Everything is risky and not for sure. The flakes are going to do what they're going to do. I'm just going to have to try to direct them as best I can. The best I can by setting it up well and making sure that my tools are good. I can make sure about the tools. I just can't make sure exactly where the flakes are going to go. Now the sharpness on this can vary. Some people like it very sharp and some people don't. I don't like these things very sharp because they tend to bend. I don't know why. I tend to bend the pressure flakers if they're too sharp. Yes. Yeah, I think that'll work. No? Gotta be very careful. Yeah, like that. Lots of force to get it thinned down. And lots of force requires lots of grinding. Yeah, like that. Check the tip, make sure it's still in good shape. It's starting to bend, it's starting to develop already some lumpiness. You can't have that. Nope. Not when you're trying to be persnickety and careful. It's got to be nice and smooth. Yeah, right there. Yeah, like that. Well, it's kind of crushy right there. That's not good. One of these days I'll learn how not to do that. If I knew why it did it, I wouldn't do it. It's getting tapered down. Yeah, I got to be very careful here near the tip. It's so easy to crush the edges. Let's see. See, if I could just stop doing those little crushings when I'm doing the heavy pressure, it would make life so much easier. Yeah, see that? And the step fracture right there? Right when it's not supposed to do it, it does it. except for shower cap. Oh, yeah. Sure. All right, so I think it's nice and tapered. There's still, I mean, I did mess it up, and I was not able to taper it completely the way I wanted it because of that mess up. I can live with that. Just sharpen it by moving flakes only from one side. If I get step fracturing, I'm going to try to get that out. And every flake is different. If I do the same flake every time, it doesn't work right. I get mistakes. I might not be able to get that out. That's step fracture there. So let's see. What causes those? It's just, I think it's the edge is thin, so it's a lot has to do with bad luck, you know. It's just thin right there, so nothing I can do. I tried grinding it. Let me see. I can just take it back, take the edge back a little bit more and try again. Let's see. Yeah, like that. But you know, it takes off some of the edge. But it's gone now. All right, let's continue, shall we? Let's see. If I can take some percussion flakes, now would be the time to do it. Because I got to remove quite a bit of this edge to make it symmetrical or to keep it fairly straight. I think I can do this with pressure. Yeah, it's still not going far enough. Let me take a percussion flake off of there. The edge needs to be thin in order for it to be really sharp, and I'm going for sharpness. So let me. So these pressure flakes, they're not going far enough. I don't want to wear myself out. I could probably use a lot more pressure and get those to go, but this is so much easier just to do a percussion flake. Yeah, like that. Compared to how much pressure I would need to do that, the percussion is so much easier. Yeah, so much easier. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Let's see. All this just for sharpening? Oh, yes. I'm also trying to make it nice and neat. On the real ones, they sometimes had jaggedy edges. But I think the jaggedy edges are just too much for some people. I get comments like, "You made that? All jaggedy?" Yeah. Really? Yeah. But why? Because that's the way they used to make them. But you made it? Yeah, I made it. All right. Yeah, sharp enough. Okay, sharp enough. Just need to hit the bulky spots. It's going to be steppy. Apparently, I can't get away from the step fracturing. Okay. But I thinned it down to where it'll be nice and sharp. Now I got to make sure I take back the same amount on this side. Even though the real ones were lopsided like this, they were not symmetrical. I am going to make this one symmetrical. On the real ones, they would sharpen it one side and not the other in some cases. I guess they were using them as knives. And if this side got too small or too narrow on that side, they would flip it over and sharpen this other side. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to make both sides symmetrical. But that's just so you know. I'm going to take some off of this side. And I'm going to favor this side as far as flaking. But right here, I'm going to take off some of this bulky stuff and then reduce the width so it'll be symmetrical. And then do a pass to sharpening. Yes, starting to get symmetrical. Yeah. I can't make it perfectly symmetrical yet because I'll be removing some width as I go down this edge for this last pass. Okay. All right, so one more last pass down this side. And not too much inward force this time. I think that'll help me avoid the step fracturing. Well, the flakes won't be as long, but at least they won't step fracture. And these flakes are different each time depending on how much material I'm pushing through. If it's a thick spot, there's more pressure, and if it's a thin spot, there's not that much. Like right there, it crushed a couple times because I didn't put enough force into it and it wasn't at the correct angle. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good pass. Yeah. Now I just clean it up a little bit. So it's not so jaggedy. And if I see dull spots or whatever in between, I just pick those off. So I'm picking off anything that sticks out too much and anything that looks dull, and I go back to the other side and see if there's any thick spots that could be thinned, like right there. This is kind of thick on this edge right here, so push some flakes off. And it's not too difficult to push flakes off when it's thick, although I do get a little bit of crushing because I didn't grind it beforehand.